Hi everybody. Um, First let me say it's really annoying to me that the first time I feel there's something that I can actually add to in a valuable way is a video call for the firsts collaboration, my kids' firsts, and it has to be just after I got a massive black eye. So that's for my dog, unfortunately, who was very excited about his walk, and that's why I have a massive shiner. So just ignore that, or I don't know if you use any of this. Can video editors can you cover it up for me? I've put as much makeup on as I think looks acceptable, but it doesn't really get covered. So I put loads of lipstick on to try and make my lips look darker there. Anyway, so yeah, firsts. I was so excited when I saw this call out from Joe because I'm obsessed with the firsts. Like the first time, the first time they smile and the first time they kind of see their hand. That's a really great one, is when their hand sort of comes into their vision one day. I've got some video clips of that. Maybe I'll try and upload that too. And the first time that they ever eat real solid food to me is just, I don't know why, it kind of blows my mind. Like their stomach has never met food before, so what's the first thing that you're going to give them? It's kind of crazy. It's a powerful position to be in, I guess. And you're looking out for them. You got to take care of them. You got to make sure it's the right stuff. And also one of the firsts that really gets me is that first haircut, because the ends of the hair, growing from birth will be, I don't know, like rounded or, different. It'll be the only time in their entire life when the ends of their hair will be that shape or that texture, or, that's how they've come out of their head, like from nothing, from never having hair before, to having hair. And then, when you cut it, like it's cut on the angle, it's blunt, and it'll always be like that for the rest of their life, apart from the before and after that very first haircut. I don't know why, but I don't know, it just strikes me. It's really weird. And yeah, so I kept really meticulous diaries for both of my children, Lucius and Sylvie, who are 6 and 4 now. I kept really meticulous diaries of all of their firsts. Like all the kind of normal hold on, I have them up actually. All the kind of normal firsts, like their, Sylvie's, for instance, the 20th of November, that was when you first breathed air. The 21st was when you first met your brother. The 22nd was the first time you ever went to your home. The 25th was your first bath. So I have all of that kind of the normal things that happen, all the kind of basic steps. But I was also really interested in recording the kind of bizarre stuff that they go through. I guess it's like that first haircut thing. There's just something about it to me. Like, so for Lucius, on his list, I've got like when he first heard the bagpipes. We live in Scotland, so there's kind of a piper on every corner in Edinburgh, but to me I was like, your ears have never heard this before, which is really interesting, because I heard one time that every infant up until about the age of 6 or 9 months has the capability to produce every noise possible, humanly possible on Earth. So a tiny baby in our culture, in Western culture, is capable of making kind of the Bushman clicks, but they don't. They select out later, a little bit down the line, 6 months, 7 months, they lose the capability and they start narrowing in on the sounds that are possible for them. And so I guess the bagpipes thing was like the flip side of that. Like, he's hearing this for the first time ever. And like, what is his brain sort of making of it? I know that there's no language there to add structure to the fog, if you will. But, his brain's got to be working around that sort of noise, like that really bizarre, amazing, unique noise of a bagpipe player. So, I've got that on his list. I've got like the first time that he went up in an elevator, in a lift, just thinking, you don't know it, but this is the first time that you're going up in a lift. it's stuff that we do that's just totally normal and you forget about. Yeah, and so on Sylvie's list, the 2nd of so she was born on the 20th of November 2008. So 2nd of February was her first day without hiccups. So random. I mean, I was sort of, I was keeping good track of all these things. The first time you reached out for a toy, it was your little red hippo rattle. I remember this stuff. They're not going to. As a kid, I was really curious about all the things that I did first, and how I spoke when I first started speaking, and what I was eating, and what outfits I wore first and stuff like that. And I don't think that my mom, she had a little book and she kept a few notes and stuff, but I kind of wanted the whole story. And I don't know if that's what my kids are going to want, but that's what they're going to get. I guess that's what they're going to get because, I don't know. I've just kept really good track. The 9th of June, Sylvie had her first immediate love affair with Finn, my friend's little boy. So I think she saw him and was just really enamored. Yeah, I mean, it goes on and on. The 29th of July, you started to look at yourself closely in the mirror. And then I also found, when I was kind of looking around at the things that I could contribute in terms of this collab, I found a letter that I had written to Lucius. So that was on the 20th of February 2009. So he was almost 2.5 here. And I said, "Dear Lucius, today was the day that you first really seemed to love your sister. She's been here for 13 weeks, and although you've been super helpful, bringing nappies and powder and making sure I wash behind her ears, I have been worried. I feared that all the assistance was merely the product of a transient interest, and that once the novelty of having a new little sister wore off, we'd have major trials and tribulations with which to contend. Until today. Today, you held her hand all day. You showed her how to use a whole bunch of toys, mainly the jingly instruments, and you stuck stickers all over her to show her how much you cared. It was very, very sweet." And I really like that I recognize that, and that I've written that down for him to see. I think it's interesting to present these things to them later. I don't know, just so that they know that there was a time before. There was a time before they spoke. There was a time before they ate. There was a time before they slept through the night. There was a time before they didn't have hiccups every day. It's just interesting, so much of art and history and literature deals with trying to get back to an almost mythical origin, a place of purity, the before the fall, before the change, before the evolution, And I think that in microcosm, each individual is also always wondering about that before time, before I was cognizant of everything that was going on around me, before I was really all that conscious of everything. Before I was an adult, I was a child, and what were those things that I was doing? And yeah, I mean, I can see why Joe sort of put a call out for this one. There's one other story that I'll leave you with. I don't know, it's sort of gross. Maybe people without kids will just be like, "Oh, really?" But I'm just going to do it. It's further down this letter that I wrote to Lucius. So, what have I said? "In any case, you're also a riot. The other morning while Susie and Herbie were here staying with us, you came into our room around 6:30 a.m. and climbed into bed for a cuddle, as you normally do. You were quiet and contemplative, with your 2 fingers in your mouth, tapping your foot on the side of the mattress and staring off into the middle distance. And suddenly something dawned on you. 'Mama,' you said. 'Yes, what is it?' I asked you. 'Mama, Stinky Poo.' 'Daddy, Stinky Poo.' 'Lucius.' 'Yesus,' was how you said it. 'Yesus, Stinky Poo. Sylvie, Stinky Poo. Jakey, Stinky Poo. Doris. Momo, Stinky Poo. Ruru, Stinky Poo. Blah, blah, Stinky Poo. Persia, Stinky Poo. These are all of our cats, by the way. Or they were at the time. Tabby, Stinky Poo. All kitty cat Stinky Poo. Susie, Stinky Poo. Herbie, Stinky Poo.' And then you trailed off and went back into your reverie. It was so funny, hilarious actually, and it struck me that at the tender age of 2 you had worked out one of life's biggest and most important secrets. Everybody poos! And watching it dawn on you was like watching a nervous person imagining a room full of people in their underwear, or a disaffected youth discovering the origin of that great saying, one of my mother's favorites, "What, you think your shit smells sweeter than mine?" And it was such a fantastic revelation, especially first thing in the morning. So yeah, that was one of Lucius's firsts that I documented for him. And as I have said, a very important lesson, my mother's favorite. So anyway, I don't know if any of this is usable. Those are my rambling thoughts on a Friday afternoon. Yeah, again, sorry about this. I can see how really horrible it looks, and if any of this video does get used for anything, I'll be more, why did it have to be when I had a black eye? But anyway, thanks for listening.